Good morning, everyone. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. This is Luis Magalong and I'll be your host this special episode of for our Moving Beyond Crisis. So, if this is your first time joining us at the 10 a.m. nating top episode, welcome po to those who have been joining us even in the afternoon or from the previous series. Welcome po. Thank you for your time. As we always say, the reason why we're pushing is because we have people who are looking forward and we're encouraged by that. So if this is your first time, welcome po. Thank you for your time. This is a special episode of the Moving Beyond Crisis series. And the MBC na tinatawag natin has been created because of the Burden to Breakthrough campaign. The Burden to Breakthrough campaign is our fundraising effort for our frontliners and at the same time in creation of the swab booths. So kami po ay nagpa-provide ng swab booths and PPE sa ating mga frontliners and select public hospitals. That's the campaign, the Burden to Breakthrough. I'll show it in the keynote later. And because of that, we created the MBC or Moving Beyond Crisis. These are learnings, part of the learnings of Vertical Parallel wherein we provide this for free. We select or we call or we ask the specialty or the specializations of the people who has this core expertise on this one to share their learnings, wisdom, and insights over certain topics. And after that, the MBC has been free and will always be free because we believe that learning and for us should progressing for us should be a continuous effort. So thank you po for joining us and welcome po sa ating morning edition. No? But what we call is yung tinatawag namin, this is the family, kumbaga family hour at the learning ng kasama ang bata at ang anak po. So, homeschool. Our topic for today is homeschool, home or school, thriving in the home-based learning. So, if you are enrolled in the conventional and you're doing the online distance learning or yung tinatawag na ODL, kasama rin po kayo. This could help you augment your exposure, involvement to your child, and at the same time as you watch your child and appreciate them grow in maturity. So, before I introduce our topic, allow me to just share with you a few announcements. Thank you po dun sa mga previous speakers natin who've been joining us from the previous series and until now. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. We appreciate that and we're grateful on behalf of the listeners or people watching. Salamat po. We're grateful for that. And thank you to our partners. As we always say, partners in doing this, we have Icon Graphics, Elevation, AIB, PEME, and Magalong Talks. So salamat po sa mga partners natin and to those people who have been joining us and taking effort in sharing the burden to breakthrough at the same time giving. So salamat po sa pagkakataong ito na binigalob nyo. It's always, remember, it's always a privilege to be a blessing to other people. So as we continue, yun. Very good. Kahapon po, no, we've talked about leadership. The other day we talked about leadership. We had LA, and then yesterday we have Marlon. And this afternoon we'll be joining us by Ruben. I'll show you the screens. Okay. By the way, please do click. Ayan po, para ko naman po makita na you're joining us. Can you do a shout out? Yan. Thank you, Miss Marisa. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Marisa. So, please do a shout out dyan po sa ating comment section, comment area. Click heart, yan, click like, yan, and then care. Just allow us to acknowledge you by saying hi para naman po namin kayo mabati kumbaga, di ba? So we're live on air, di ba? FB live po, no? But as I always say, I hope you enjoyed this morning's training. This is especially for you as we both of us progress as a family. So, allow me to share my screen. Yan. Oops, yon. Okay, so we are Vertical Parallel and what we do is we bridge you to success. All right, please like, follow, subscribe. We are present in YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. YouTube po, dumami na po yung subscribers namin. As of yesterday, we have 14. Yahoo! Di ba? These are the previous speakers and we will have them soon in our next series. This is the Burden to Breakthrough. This is the fundraising campaign that I talked about earlier. And then to know more about it, just PM us or DM us or call us or text us in the numbers on your screen on the lower portion of your screen. Also, please make it a habit to visit frequently Vertical Parallel Asia. That's our page. Please review, do a recommendation or review. But at the same time, every day we publish encouraging thoughts, just like what you see, what you're seeing in your screen. I don't know exactly what the future holds, but I'm stepping forward with grit, anchored in grace. All right, so yan po, ginagawa po kami ng bago every more. Hindi lang po nakagawa yesterday, but we're doing this every day because we believe that encouragement is very good, especially in this time of the in this season and time. All right. So allow me to also promote, announce. Alam niyo naman po na i-promote ko na po. This is a masterclass, Vertical Parallel Masterclass. These are the paid trainings of Vertical Parallel where we conduct the trainings in 3 methods. First is the recorded training modules or instructional learning volumes. We have ito po yung mga we also have the online-based training workshop wherein we discuss or we conduct a training via the applicable platform like the Zoom, WebEx, or WebEx. And then we have the office-based, but since bawal po ang ano ngayon, ang face-to-face, so because of the pandemic and physical distancing, so hindi muna kami gumagawa. But still, if permitted, and I hope it will happen soon so that I can see you face-to-face, all right? This is the masterclass. Part of this is the productive leadership, upping leadership potentials on September 18 to 19, 2020. It's good for your managers and supervisors. If you do have managers or you know somebody who are getting promoted or may next level, yan, malapit na ma-promote, or you supervisors, even the supervisors as well. This is a good management skills training that you need to attend to. I'm encouraging you to attend this one. This is an 8-hour learning program. It's a full course on productive leadership. I hope you join us. It's very productive. Sabi nga, very blank. But this is very potential for your added skills. Also, on September 22 to 23, okay, we will have the business and branding. It's a comprehensive guide for entity and business branding for SME. So, the branding holistically there's a lot of learning on this one. We'll launch the revised poster of this one, but this is also a masterclass for Vertical Parallel. It's an 8-hour learning program. So I'll talk about it later. All right. So later this afternoon, please do join us at this afternoon 5 p.m. Same page, Vertical Parallel Asia, as we talk about the Moving Brand Crisis series, Heroic Leadership with Mr. Ruben Lanot. He's a corporate trainer, public speaker, business consultant, and a GoNext speaker consultant. All right. Okay, so as we discussed this morning, okay, home or school, homeschool, thriving in the home-based learning. Okay, allow me to introduce our speaker. Lalabas lang po ako sa aking so that I can see you. Yan. So continue clicking the like and the heart. Okay, so as allow me to introduce our speaker or resource person this afternoon. He is the Learn Director for the Homeschool Global Philippines. HG Philippines, that's what we call it. Principal for the VCIS or Victory Christian International School. He's also an educator. He is marami po intro pero ayaw niya sabihin, but this is a great guy. I saw him fathered his children, and nakita ko yung mga kids. And I'm great. That's also one of the reasons why I enrolled my daughter to homeschool. Nakita ko how he shared the learnings as a parent, and I can see how he led his family. So he's a wife to Tess and father to the 2 kids, honor and integrity. This morning, allow me to introduce Mr. Great B. Mabuti. Right. Hi, Sir Great. Hi. You're on mute, Kuya.
Oh, on mute ako. Muted, right.
So, Kuya, the online stage is yours. Ikaw na po.
Ako na ba? Okay,
Yes.
I can screen share, no? I can screen share.
Wait.
Okay.
Yan. You can screen share now, Kuya.
Okay, so are we on?
Yes.
Right, okay. Sige, good morning, my dear parents and fellow educators. My name is Dr. Great Mabuti, and I am here actually to share with you something that actually many families are into right now. They are doing home-based learning, whether it is homeschooling or whether it is an online distance learning. All of our students here in the Philippines are actually learning at home. And although most schools, like those in the government, they will be starting on October 4 or October 5 rather. But some of our private schools already started last August 24. Okay, so I hope none of our students will miss the school year these days. And it is not just the thrust of the DepEd, but it is also our desire as educators that this school year, whether it is pandemic, even if it is lockdown, we will still move on and go ahead with the learning of our kids for them actually not to be behind. In other countries, they are actually shutting off the school year. Some of them have opened schools also, but they are still restricted towards the social distancing thing. So here in the Philippines, it's not really quite of a problem, right? Okay, because we have this internet, we have this technology. Although I realize that we have families in far-flung areas wherein they don't have the gadgets, they don't have any Wi-Fi connection, internet connection, so that would be an extra challenge. So well, we pray for them, and at the same time, if there is a form of assistance we can give them, then let's do it. All right. Okay. So how are you doing today? Okay, so I hope that you are enjoying. If you have started off with your home-based learning, home-based education, whatever grade level, I hope that you have started well and you are on your way towards school success at home. Huh? At home. Okay, the things that I'm going to share with you is something that is actually we've been doing here in homeschooling, in the world of homeschooling, specifically with the homeschooling provider that that I am part of. Okay, I have this challenge pertaining to. Okay, I hope I will be able to share this. Yes, no, it's not. All right. Okay, so it's not. Okay,
Okay, you can do it again. You can try it again.
all right. Okay, so let me do it again.
And
This is actually a challenge to me. Okay, I hope this will be it.
yeah, and then
Incidentally, this
yeah.
is the, okay, right. Okay, so this is actually the, what they call this, the part two of the talk that I gave month or some time ago. Okay, and I will just dig deeper into the things that I have discussed because I knew that there wasn't much time actually discussing those things. So I will be digging deeper to some essential aspects that I know would be relevant to the homeschooling families or families who are doing home-based learning at this time. All right. So how can we homeschool for real at such a time as this? Okay, so many people are actually saying all these things about home-based learning, and I don't know if you can identify with them. Do you find it fulfilling? Some of you might find it hard work. Some of you might be frustrated already. Others might be liberated because finally you get a chance to teach your own child, and there would be no classroom teacher to actually meddle with you. Okay, or most likely some of you enjoy the time that your kids are at home, but probably some of us may not want the kids at home at all, no? So first and foremost, I mentioned before that whatever schooling it is, actually this would work not just in home-based learning, but also in conventional school setting. You know your why. Okay, why are you sending your child to that school? Why are you doing this learning mode? Whether it's online learning, blended learning, homeschooling. Of course, I know some of you, most of us will not want to do uh, face-to-face learning at this time. So know your why. Why? Because homeschooling or any home-based learning is no joke, right? I guess if you have done that already for the past few days or past few weeks, you can agree with me that this is no joke. So this entails this involves the future of your child. And if you are not the teacher, you are not a trained teacher, you are not a professional teacher, that puts extra burden on your part and extra stress as well. But homeschooling is not a joke. And it takes a lot of commitment, time, and sacrifice. This is I said. Now, parents, even if you are working from home, you are still committed to the development, educational advancement of each of your children, right? So it involves time as well. So even if you have other work, other functions, or you're working from home, you still need to invest time. So with commitment and time comes sacrifice, right? But sabi nga nila pag walang tiyaga, walang nilaga. And the same thing is true for any home-based learning. So your sacrifices will pay off much later, no? Probably much later, but definitely there will be a payoff, meaning to say you will get paid for it. There will be a return of your investment. Okay. Why? Because to last long to the finish line, you've got to be sold out to the reasons why you are home-based learning or homeschooling in the first place. Why? Why are you doing it, by the way? Is it just because for safety reasons that you don't want your child to have COVID? I hope you go beyond that one. And if you enjoy what you are doing right now with your child, rest assured that you will be able to hang in there and get not just acquainted, but get deeply rooted with the reason why you have homeschooled for the first in the first place, right? Okay, so of course, no parent would want the least for his child, right? Okay, all of us would want the best for our child. And mind you, according to research, when the parent intervenes in the education of the child, when the parent would actively participate in the child's education, the academic achievement of that child increases. Okay, so parent involvement and then increase in academic achievement are correlated. Okay, both of them are correlated. And this will also make you and your child enjoy your homeschool learning journey. Okay, so if you know the reason why and you have a better reason, and your reason is something that is what do you call this, something that will make the journey fulfilling, then you get to enjoy the journey. So you lessen the stress if you enjoy the journey. I hope you're lessening your stress. Okay, all right. Okay, values first in any home-based education or whatever education it is. And I would even advise this to conventional school teachers that in any education, values first. Okay, start off each homeschool day focusing on lessons that strengthen your child's character and core. All right, you need to strengthen the character of your child, especially during these days. No, I know many of our young people probably bagut na sila kasi they are just staying at home most of the time 24/7, and their curfew actually is 24/7 as well, and they are not allowed to be seen outside in any of the public places, not in the streets or wherever. um, So, lumalabas po yung mga not so good behavior ng mga anak natin. So how can we assist them with that one? Now, you will have trouble actually completing the lessons of your children if your children will not uh, will not have that right attitude towards learning, if you will not have that right relationship, also the right dynamics at home, okay, proper dynamics at home, and the right perspective. So how are you going to attack that? You need to tap first or touch base with the values, with the virtues. Develop in your children virtues, something that will help them not just during this school year but also for life. Okay, now academics are much easier to manage when your child sets off with the right perspective and the right attitude. So you better help them. Now I realize this one with children, more is caught than taught. So my dear parents, I advise you actually to model correct behavior, right attitude, and right perspective about life. No? how do you perceive this pandemic? How do you perceive the different things that happen around us right now, especially with the healthcare system, with what is going on in our community, with all this wearing of the face mask and then face shield. Okay, how do you go about this? So you need to demonstrate. Okay, set the example first of right attitude and right perspective. You will be surprised. Your kids will follow your lead, and then it won't be hard for them to actually get relaxed and take on your perspective as well. Although I realize that a lot of our teenagers wouldn't want to take the perspectives of their parents, no? But you know what? Even if they say that they will not follow after you, what they see, they get to actually copy. So they duplicate you, they replicate you. Okay, so set a good example pertaining to perspective and attitude, and focus on the child's character development. Okay, now just as I said, begin with yourself. Okay, if you want to change the world, start with yourself, right? Okay, so and you cannot change the world if you will not change yourself, and you cannot change your family if there is no change in yourself. So change has to begin with yourself, almost and always. Okay, almost always. Huh? Okay, begin with yourself. How do you go about this? Okay, get well rounded. Okay, don't just focus on the academics whenever you do home based learning or homeschooling. I know you have a lot of lessons to cover, right? Okay, later I'm going to present to you some of the things that the DepEd has initiated during this pandemic. Okay, so that you will get to focus on the more important stuff, right? At least, okay, I'm going to touch on that one, but I will not exhaustively dwell on that. Okay, but don't just focus on the academics, covering all the lessons of the various subjects during this school year, but I want you to be holistic, okay? Whole, okay? Approach this school year holistically. So it's not just the academics that you are taking charge of, but you are actually taking charge also of the mental development of your child, intellectual development, the physical development, the socio-emotional development, the spiritual development, and all these other developments that you can think of for the benefit of your child. No? So educate your child holistically, nurture his intellect, stature, that's the physical aspect, walk with God, that's spiritual aspect, and then social skills, social-emotional development. Okay, I go for this one. I call this the holistic learning. All right, the holistic learning. So we have this particular thing here, right? So we start off with character. Okay, so in your lessons, whether it's math or social studies or even the sciences, make sure that you touch base with the developing in the development of the character of your child. Whenever you teach him math, what character or virtue is developed? Isn't patience an integral part also of problem solving in terms of mathematics, right? Okay, so you might as well highlight on patience, perseverance, persistence, okay, no? Attention to details. Those things you can actually teach while you help your child get to know and get familiarized, master mathematical skills and concepts. No? So get to know that one, how to integrate that. Okay, probably another webinar would take us there, right? How to integrate character development in mathematics and other academics. The other one would be the physical. This is just easy. Although I know for a fact that most parents, most families these days are challenged in terms of the physical development in their children. Why? Because we are enclosed, we are in lockdown mode. So you cannot access the basketball court, the gymnasium in the neighborhood, or other community amenities that you may have. You may have a swimming pool, but you cannot use it, no? If it's a public swimming pool. So how are you going to, even if you are under lockdown mode, you can still actually work on the physical development of your child. Ensure that your child gets enough sunshine and gets enough physical activities during the day, so that she will not be, what do you call this? She will not get sick, or she will keep on having that sunshine exposure. Do you know that according to research, proper exposure to sunshine and a lot of breathing space, oxygen, and all this stuff, okay, these things aid in the learning of your child. So if your child is healthy physically, he will be able to learn more. All right. So, okay, in spiritual aspect as well, then the intellectual, and then the socio-emotional. Now, I'm going to deal with some of these ones, especially the three of these, but I won't be dealing with the physical and the intellectual because those are the easier parts. No? All right. Okay. Now let's go to character education. We said that we have to holistically help our child learn. Okay, holistic learning, starting off with a character education. So in here, it is mentioned that actually research demonstrates that students who attend schools that practice character education programs have higher academic achievements. There appears to be a strong correlation between the virtues of good character and being a good academic student. I got this from from Hudson College in California, and this is according to studies, no? That the higher academic achievements are actually um, targeted whenever we teach our kids virtues of good character. And if we have this character education in place. Now, if this is true in conventional school setting, this is definitely possible, very possible as you home educate your child. Is that right? Okay? Now, gusto niyo po bang tumalino mga anak ninyo? Simulan ninyo sa character development, character education po. Magsimula po tayo doon. Okay, now character in leaders, okay? Okay, these characteristics or virtues we would like to see in our leaders, both present and future. Trustworthiness, integrity, self-discipline, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, citizenship, compassion, honesty, and perseverance. Now, do you want your child to be a leader someday? Yes. Okay. If you want your child to be a leader, make him a good leader. If mas okay nga pag better, no? Better leader. How will you do that? During this school year, this is now your window to positively make an impact in the leadership development of your child, starting off with character development. How will you instill trustworthiness in your child? How will you instill integrity? Would you like him to be self-disciplined? Now, there are activities that would actually help your child gain self-discipline. Respect begets respect. So if you show respect to your child, he respects you back. And that is a good dynamics in the family. And it's not only that, it prepares your child for interacting with others, especially those in authority. Responsibility, no? And fairness. Okay, all these things. If your child actually is fair and responsible because you have taught him how to go about being such, okay, that is a wonderful accomplishment for parents. No? Okay, is your child caring? Okay, yung care for the siblings, for the elderly, for the family. Pagkakaroon ng malasakit na lang, ano? That is a good training for children these days, especially during this pandemic. Citizenship, compassion, yeah, compassion, no? Honesty, perseverance, and all these things. Marami pa po, marami. These are just some of the lists that I've mentioned. You can actually instill this, integrate these virtues in the lessons that you are going to teach your child. Now, if your child is having this online distance learning wherein there is this teacher online, now what you can do is you can give a feedback to the teacher to touch base on these virtues, or you can supplement whatever lesson there is if there are homeworks like that, okay, so that you can instill these virtues. Character development is key. Gusto po natin ng mga anak natin maging mabunga, di ba? Maging mabunga. At kailangan nating tulungan sila na maging mabunga. We want them to be fruitful. Now, in what ways? We want them to be fruitful in the things that matter in life, in skills that they will carry on for life, not just while they are in school, not just during they are studying, but while they are living. That can go for a lifetime. And if you would prepare your child for such, you have prepared him well. Gusto niyo po bang maging mabunga ang mga anak ninyo sa ganitong aspeto? Mabunga po siya sa, yan, joy. Diba? Ang ganda po pag ang atmosphere niyo sa bahay is joyful, right? And then if your atmosphere at home is with gentleness, with patience, with goodness, with self-control, with faithfulness, with peace, with kindness, with love, very fruitful. A day can be very fruitful for you, your child, and the rest of your family. And guess what? If that is the kind of atmosphere that you have at home, all right, that atmosphere will can be extended in other environments where your child will be. Okay, so you might as well teach him, begin at home. Okay, begin at home. Teach him while he is at home, while he is being home educated by you, while he is being homeschooled by you. Okay, now since you are the teacher, if you're the parent teacher, if you're the teacher, you can be intentional in this. Okay, first, katulad po ng sinabi ko kanina, it's very important that you model it. You set the example. And then next, focus on this one. Now, there are a lot of stories around that would actually be a story about gentleness, a story about patience, a story about self-control. Okay, so you highlight this by telling them that story. Okay, this is pretty exciting, especially for young people, no? Yung smaller kids. But if you have a teenager already at home, why don't you allow him to research on certain stories that would highlight these particular values, and then let them share this story in a family during your family time? It would be very wonderful, I assure you. Okay, so that's just one method of how to go about these things. Okay, meron din po another would be the magic moments. Okay, now if you lose your self control, okay, then you can actually make that as a magic moment to teach your child how not to do it, how not to lose your self-control later on. And then if you ask forgiveness, you have done wonderfully by impressing to your child that mom and dad are also human beings and we are not perfect and we commit mistakes. When you apologize, okay, you humble yourself and you now demonstrate humility. And if you demonstrate that, sure enough, your child will be able to catch that from you. Huh? Okay. All right. So joy, do you have that joy? Joy is not just being happy or always smiling, but joy is actually being what we call this. That feeling of satisfaction and inner happiness, deeper happiness in spite of the situation that you are in. Same thing with peace, regardless of your situation, within at home or outside the home, you can experience peace. How do you go about that? Okay, let me tell you. These virtues has something to do also if you develop the spiritual health of your family, the spiritual health of your homeschooling child, the spiritual health of your um, home educated student at home. Huh? Okay. Now, this is from the Journal of Catholic Health Association of the USA, something that is an output of a research. Spiritual health is that aspect of our well-being which organizes the values, the relationships, and the meaning and purpose of our lives. Patients and healthcare professionals alive have experienced a growing recognition of the importance of spiritual health as a foundation for physical health and well-being. Let me just highlight, no? Let me just highlight. So it organizes the values. Spiritual health, if you are spiritually healthy and if your child is spiritually healthy, okay, it organizes the values, your relationships, okay? That's a way of organizing your values, setting your values straight, okay? That's character development. Relationships, that's socio-emotional development, no? Relationships, your relational skills, interpersonal relationship skills are being developed if your spirituality or spiritual state is healthy. So you have to make sure that your spiritual life is healthy. Okay, that's what the research shows. Okay, and it organizes also the meaning and purpose of your life. Now, many people are looking for meaning and purpose in life. Now, the way for you to help your child get to know his purpose and get to know the meaning of life, okay, you do it right now while he is home educated, while you are the one teaching, do it intentionally. Start off making sure that he is spiritually healthy. So you will not, so that you will be able to help your child, especially when he gets to be a teenager or much older. mababawasan po yung mga crisis, personality crisis na may encounter ng marami po nating mga kabataan sa ngayon. And then, patients and healthcare professionals alike, okay, have experienced a growing recognition of the importance of spiritual health as a foundation for physical health and well-being. So there is this healing process when you are spiritually healthy, your physical state is being affected positively. So now I hope there would be a further research here in the Philippines how spirituality or spiritual health impacts physical health, physical well-being, or the healing process. Okay, no? Marami po. Probably you might have experienced some of them already now. This is according to research that I'm talking about now. So it is important in terms of spiritual aspect. If you want your relationships, your physical aspect, physical well-being taken care of, your values, okay, meaning and purpose in life taken care of, okay, not just of yourself, because I said you have to start with yourself, no? Kasi pag klaro ito sa atin, magiging klaro na rin sa mga anak natin. They can be helped if we help them connect with God. Okay? Connecting with God. Now, there is nothing actually, this has nothing to do with religion at all. Actually, connecting with God is something that if you are a human being, you are a creation, okay, you have to connect with your Creator. It's just a must. Okay? Di ba ho ba yung mga gamit po natin whenever yung mga watches natin, equipments natin, whenever pag nagkakasira sila or saan natin sila dinadala, doon sa manufacturer nila, doon sa maker nila, di ho ba? And the maker would oftentimes, if not all the time, would have the best tools, best equipments, and best technology to repair your gadget, the gadget that they made in no time at all, right? Okay? So, now, kung nagkakaproblema ang mga gadget natin, definitely magkakaproblema tayo. Nagkakaproblema tayo. Actually, maraming sa atin ngayon may problema, di ba? At ang mga anak din po natin, magkakaproblema sila in life. Now, you will not be there for them 24/7, and you may not be there for them during their lifetime. Okay? They will outlive you because they are younger, they will live longer than you. So how will you help them in life when they are on their own? Connect them with their maker. It will do them better, okay, than you think. Now, you don't have to be religious in order to do that. Okay? Prayer is the first wireless communication method that man has ever invented. It was there all along, even during the ancient times. So we might as well do that. No? Pray. And prayer is simply talking to God, talking to the God who created the heavens and the earth. All right? Okay? Talking to the God who created you. All right? So, ayun po, ano? Okay. Right? So, connect with God. Take care of your spiritual health. Okay? And actually, in the scriptures, it is said that there are a lot of benefits if you train your child, if you train yourself to be spiritually healthy. Physical training is of some value, but godliness or spiritual training is of value in what? It says here, in everything. In everything. Did you see that? Okay, in everything. So, and in every way, since it holds promise for the present life and for the life to come. Okay, parents, it is now your decision. I am just here to tell you the proof, tell you principles, but it's still you who would decide whether you take in or not. You are free to choose. You are free to choose what you will teach to your kids. But the things that I'm presenting to you, these are age-old, what we call this, concepts that have been proven true and that have been proven workable. They work best, actually, in most families, in most individuals. Now, it's up to you if you want to get that into your system personally, and then you can transfer that to your children. No? Okay? So remember, you're free to choose, but you will never ever be free from the consequences of your choices. So choose wisely. All right? Choose wisely. Okay, so let's go to social-emotional skills. So we've taken care of character development and then spiritual development, all right? Spiritual development. And we said that these two I highlighted because these are the things that textbooks may not be able to teach your child fully well. unless there is a human intervention around, unless there is a modeling that's taking place. And since they are at home, your kids and your learners are at home, and you are the adult there, take charge. Take charge intentionally of your child's education. Okay, another thing, socio-emotional skills, or what we call as SE. This is considered as one of the 21st century skills. Okay, now this skill includes the knowledge, attitudes, and skills necessary for youth to recognize and control their emotions and behavior. So I mentioned a while ago sa pagiging mabunga, yung self-control, ano? Okay, now do you know that when you teach your child self-control, patience, love, yan, peace, joy. Do you know that those fruits there, the fruit there, okay, mabunga na characteristic na yun, that you develop can be demonstrated only in social contexts? Okay? Social contexts, all right? So these skills would help your youth recognize and control their emotions and behaviors, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions, solve challenging situations, and set and achieve positive goals. Ang ganda ano po. And this is according to the National Mentoring Resource Center in the United States. Okay, so it is something that we parents should never lose hope on. And at the same time, we should never delegate this to anybody. We have to take charge. Whether kahit po matapos ang pandemic and our children will go back to school, let us take it to heart to actually impart to our kids something that will equip them for life. And these things that you see here, they are the ones, actually, they will help us. They will help our children survive in the real world, right? Okay, just imagine. They can control their emotions and behavior, self-control. They can establish and maintain positive relationships, good interpersonal relationship skills. No? They can make responsible decisions, something that they will be responsible enough for the consequences of their decisions. Isn't it wonderful to teach your kids those? I hope we have another webinar, no, on how to dig deeper into this and be able to know the how-tos, no? How-tos. How will I be able to do that? But let me just focus on these things na pwede lang po nating baunin during this short span of time that we are interacting. Learn it, okay? Learn it personally as a parent, and then set the example before you teach it. Okay, because practice what you preach. No? Okay, walk your talk. All right, walk your talk. Before you can talk it, you have to walk it. All right. So, do you know that in homeschooling, I realized it's homeschooling that together with my wife, before our children can be successful in a particular skill, in a particular mastering a particular character trait, no, we have to model it first. We have to be, as parents, we have to master them first. And that makes teaching more difficult. Now, yan lang po ba sa parents lang po yan? Actually, sa classroom teacher din po. If you're a classroom teacher and you're listening to me right now, you can agree, no, na the impact of our lesson comes along with the integrity, with the personal integrity that we ourselves are modeling what we are teaching. And you cannot give what you do not have, really, as a teacher. And as a parent teacher, you cannot give what you do not have. You can only give what you have. So it is a must that you need to have this one. Kaya talikuran na ho natin, ano, meron pong tinatawag yung what to start, what to continue, and what to stop. Now, ginagawa po yan ng marami during the New Year's resolution. But right now, during the bare months again, ano, next week it will be September. All right, so when September comes, as 2020 ends, what are the things that you would like to start personally? What are the things that you would like to continue personally? These should be better things that will make you as a better person, no? That can make you become a better person. And then identify some of the things that have not been helpful to you that you have been doing. Probably those are the things that you need to stop. Okay? And with those, you can actually help your child start the good things, continue the good ones, no? And then stop what isn't helpful at all. Right? So in the social-emotional skills development of your children, what are some of the things that they need to start doing, continue doing, and then stop doing? Okay. How I wish we have a lot of time. Okay. Next time. Okay, let me just proceed. Ayan din po, not just positive relationship, but also making responsible decisions, solving challenging situations. If your child is developed in the social-emotional skills, she will be able to solve challenging situations. She will be able to go through challenging situations, solve challenging problems. No? Okay, so these are the things that we need to help our children learn and then be able to practice in life. No? And then set and achieve positive goals as well. Hindi yung goals na tibubang pasaway lang. No? Our kids, they really want the best for them, but they don't know how. They need our help. They need our guidance. So this is the best time for us. While we are in this pandemic, this is the best time to influence your child, guide your child towards setting and achieving his positive goals in life. Okay? So develop the social emotional skills. So develop the character, develop spiritual health, develop the social emotional skills, right? Now, social emotional skills have been shown to be malleable and linked to academic success, career success, and life success. Wonderful. Okay? So please help your children. Yung pagiging magalang na lang respect. Okay, respect. If they have mastered that one, they will go far, 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 very far. Okay, so we want our children to be successful. Remember, if your child becomes successful, you become successful as a parent, and your family will become successful. Now, mind you, how do you define success? It's not just having all the money in the world. It's not having all the fortune in the world. It's not having all the fame in the world. No? Okay, actually, it's being the best version of yourself, doing the very thing that you do best in that particular season of your life. Okay, how God develops you and what God wants you to do and to be. Okay, during that season of your life. Then, during that time, you are successful. Okay, so our success should not just be limited to the material wealth that we have. Now, this pandemic has made us realize a lot of things, like only the basic things are what we need. And then there are essential stuff and there are non-essential stuff. And we need to live with these essential, basic things. And our success during this lockdown are based on this basic, essential stuff that we have. Okay? So what I'm telling you right now, character development is not just basic, but it's essential. Spiritual health is not just basic, but it is essential. Social emotional skills development is not just basic, but it's also essential. These are the things that you cannot live without. And these are the things that will help your child become successful in life. All right? Okay? So, all right, in addition to this, you have the physical and intellectual development that you have to take care of in order for your learning, your child's learning, to be holistic. Now, in terms of intellectual development, okay, intellectual development, I am glad the Department of Education came up recently with the most essential learning competencies. No? This is free and downloadable from the internet, from the DepEd website. My dear parent teachers, and even if you are a classroom teacher, or if you are an online teacher, or if you are just a parent supervising the online classes of your kids, right, while they are at home, please familiarize yourselves with the most essential learning competencies, or the MELC. Okay, in Homeschool Global, where I am part of, we give a free training for homeschooling parents on the MELC and how they can integrate this in their homeschooling atmosphere and the homeschooling environment. No? So this is where the content is. Okay, DepEd was able to determine, with the help of the University of the Philippines, was able to determine the learning competencies that they consider essential, that they need the students in the Philippines and in Philippine schools, even abroad, even homeschool students, home-educated students need to actually target for this school year for all the subject areas. And you will be surprised, these are the competencies that would be foundational. You would consider foundational towards higher learning. And the one interesting thing also with the MELC, most of the competencies here are actually outcome-based. There needs to be an output, a positive, what do you call this, an activity wherein your child needs to come up with an output. All right, so it is something that your child needs to do. not just understand, but he needs to translate what he understands into something that is tangible, that will actually help solve real life problems, right? Okay, so this takes care now of the intellectual development of your child. So feed your child with the right content, starting off with the most essential learning competencies for this school year. Okay? Now, in the homeschooling program in Homeschool Global, let me just briefly go through with you these things. We offer these three main homeschool programs. We have the Touch, we have the Tech AOP, Tech BJU. Now, if you are a homeschooling parent, you will be intentionally, what do you call this, taking charge of your child's education, and you can curate the curriculum. You will be the one to pick what the curriculum, what textbooks to use. Okay, we have that in the Touch program in the Homeschool Global. Now, if you like something that is having an online curriculum, no physical textbooks at all, but the textbooks are actually online. We have the Tech AOP, Tech AOP. But then it's still the parent who actually teaches values subjects, right, for both Touch and Tech. Now, we're Tech BJU from the Bob Jones University. This is more like the online distance learning version of the Homeschool Global. So what happens here, actually, there is an online curriculum platform, but there is also a textbook, and there are video lessons, teaching videos of teachers, of actual teachers who are teaching that particular subject to your child. And there will be some worksheets that your children will have to actually take note of and do, enrichment exercises. So it's more like the online distance learning, the Tech BJU. All right, so we have these programs, and there are Homeschool Global is just one of the homeschool providers here in the Philippines. I counted them just recently. There are at least 21 homeschool service providers in the country right now, not to mention the conventional schools that already offered homeschooling platforms as well. Okay, all right. So right now, Homeschool Global has more than 8,000 students during this pandemic. Okay, so the Tech BJU, this is the high quality blended curriculum with instructional supplements from the Bob Jones University Press. Okay, so this is actually the Tech BJU, right? So this is okay for actually online distance learning students. Okay, all right. Okay, are you still okay? All right, we still have time. All right. Okay, so make your child a problem solver as well, right? I told this before. Whenever you teach the subjects, when you teach math, when you teach the language, when you teach science, when you teach Filipino, Araling Panlipunan, even music and TLE, make sure that the lessons of your children will help him solve real life problems. Okay, can you do that? Okay, can you help your child do that? So whenever you teach, it should not just be an academic exercise. Don't make your child memorize a lot of facts and details. Don't make him do a lot of paperworks. Get into the real thing. Bakit nga ba tayo nag-aaral? Nag-aaral ba tayo para lang tumalino, para lang magkaroon ng medalya, para lang maging first honor, para lang makapasok sa magandang kolehiyo, para lang magkaroon ng trabaho na maganda, na malaki ang kita? Yun lang po ba yun? Hindi. Nag-aaral po tayo para maging mas makahulugan ng buhay at mas magkaroon pa po ng solusyon yung mga problemang kinaharap po natin ngayon. Okay? I'm part of the scholarship committee of our high school alumni. And actually, I'm one with my batchmates who interview potential scholars. And then one of the things that I ask them, what is one problem that you see right now that you would want to solve? Okay, and then they would tell. And then I would ask, my second question would be, as young as you are, how do you think you can contribute towards solving this particular problem that you have identified? And then they come up with creative ways. Nakakatuwa. So our young people, at least with those that I've interviewed, they are not just idealistic, but they are really into the real stuff and they are aware of what's going on. They are aware of the problems, and I make them aware that they are part of the solution. Okay, sabi nga, di ba? Sabi ni Chinkitan, for every problem there is a solution. If you are not part of the solution, you are definitely part of the problem. So which are you? I hope you will make your child part of the solution, right? Don't make him part of the problem, right? Okay, so tayo din pong mga magulang, let's not tell our kids, problema ka, sakit ka sa ulo. Wala pong ganon. Normally, kaya sakit sa ulo yan kasi nagsimula sa inyo. Tama, di ba? So, it is really important that it has to begin with you. Itama na ho natin, wag po nating imo-model sa mga anak natin yung pagrereklamo. Alam kong mataas ang stress level ng maraming families ngayon. At madalas, dahil mataas ang stress level natin, nakakapagsalita tayo ng hindi maganda. And most of these things that we say that our kids would hear are actually complaints, rants, okay, about this, about that, about things that we have no control of. Okay, let's change that. Naku, Panginoon, patawarin niyo po kami. Alright? Humingi na natin ng tawad. Okay, let's change that altogether. Beginning today, why don't you stop doing that one and then objectively see things, what's going on around you. And then if you're going to give a comment, make a comment that will be productive, not just for you, but for your family as well. Something that when your child hears about it, he can come up with creative solution rather than copy you rant, copy you complain. Huh? Okay, because if you complain more, your children, there will be a time that your children will complain about you. Okay, and you don't want that to happen. It will be painful for a parent if you get complaints against you coming from your own children, right? Remember, what you do to others, it will be done to you. Okay, that's how nature goes. We cannot escape that, right? Okay, do you want life to be better for you and your children and your family? Okay, so make life better from our lips alone. Okay, we need to be solving more problems rather than being part of the problem. Okay, I've said too much. Okay, but in order for you to help your child learn solving problems, whatever you teach, help him solve real life problems. Relate the lessons in real life setting. All right. Nurture love for learning. How do you go about that? Make him read. Read lang po talaga. Now, mas maganda po pagka physical na book. Okay? Start off with the ancient textbook. The best-selling book that has changed millions, countless lives for many, many generations, for many centuries. And what is that? The Bible, which is actually available in our apps these days. So make him read. There are a lot of good reading materials about the Bible. Read the Bible itself. If you like it in electronic form, you can download the YouVersion. YouVersion is such an excellent Bible app. And your children will love that. Even your kids, pag may kinder po kayo, there is a kinder version for very young children in the YouVersion with animation. Okay, pagka sa inyo din mga parents, there are devotional, what do you call this? Devotional readings that are topical. Okay, topical in nature, pertaining to marriage, relationships, parenting, ang dami. YouVersion, that has been a wonderful companion for me. Okay, on nurturing my spiritual health as well. All right. Okay. Remember, the Bible has nothing to do with religion. Also, okay, it is the book that can change millions of lives, and it can be the book that can change ultimately your life and the lives of your family and your children. Right? Okay, not only that, yung mga babasahin po nila, now pick the books that would have values in it, with virtues. No? So you hit two birds with one stone. Reading comprehension is achieved and values is also achieved. Now, don't make your child just read, but make him write also a reflection about what he has read. Whether, okay, that would be written, no? You can also ask him some questions wherein he can retell, he can convey in his own words the things that he has read about. Okay, not only that. Okay, so nabi natin, right, ano? Right. Upper elementary kids towards high school, okay, make those children in your homes write blogs, write whatever, no? Probably post those writings, post those write-ups in the internet, okay? Blogs can be an output, and then make your child earn a grade for that one. So read and write. You know, when kids read and write, you nurture their love for learning. Okay. Not only that, make them discover how. Okay. If there is a new equipment delivered to you by Lazada, okay, natatanong ba ng anak ninyo, how does that work? Okay, pag nagtanong na ganun, huwag niyo sasabihin, huwag kang makialam dyan, baka masira. No. You make them discover how things work. Because the how, if they get to understand how it goes, how things go about, you actually nurture their mental state, their interest towards learning how things go about. And then they will be able to apply the concepts that they've learned. It's from the sciences, from the mathematics, from whatever subject, and it gets integrated. And then sooner or later, if they are very much interested to it, there will come a time that they will create something out of the things that they have been learning. For example, I have a plant here, right? How would this plant grow? I realized the leaves, no? How they develop, paano umuusbong, naoobserbahan ko through time. And I am amazed. Ang galing naman ng gumawa ng plant na yan. Ano? Only the God who can make plants can make these plants really grow well. And it's a wonderful thing to discover the house in amazement. No? Make your child get amazed by discovering the house of life as well. Okay? So, make them ask questions, right? Pag nagtanong po, hindi nyo man kayang sagutin, at least nagtanong siya. Do you know that in the Ateneo, there was a subject, I think it's a philosophy subject, wherein the students are graded higher if they ask the right questions. Not how they answer the questions, but how they ask these questions, what they ask and how they ask it. So you can experiment on that one. So nurture their love for learning, and then equip them for life. So provide your child with the learning tools necessary for real life living. All right. Okay. I'll give you a tip. Make your child do chores. Pagwalisin ninyo sila. There should be a schedule wherein they will have to wash the dishes. There should be a schedule when they need to water the plants, even plant. Okay. Clean the surroundings. Okay, trim the garden if you have a garden, clean their stuff, okay, yeah, make up their bed, right? Make their beds, and then at the same time, cook. Yeah, cooking, cleaning the toilet. Wow, wonderful. Because if your child gets into this stuff, you are equipping them for life, right? And these are tools, necessary tools, skills that they need to develop in life. Right? Okay, para hindi nyo sila nagagawang baldado. Moms and dads, especially the moms around. Don't do all things for your children. Okay? Make your children also count. Right? They are not robots and they are not guests. They are treasures that you need to nurture. They are people close to your heart that you need to equip so that when you are gone, because life is so short, ang dami pong namamatay ngayon. Right, no? Aminin na natin, there will come a time that we will leave this world. We will die someday. Okay, I hope you are prepared for the afterlife. But before you go, make sure that your children can survive on their own, and they will be a positive, productive contributor in their community and in this society. No? That they will not turn out to be a liability. It is in your hands, my dear parents. Now, I'm telling this one not to intimidate you or not to bring all this stuff. I'm just presenting this to you. It's your choice pa rin po, okay? All right. No pressure, but it's your choice, all right? But again, you will never be free from the consequences of your choices. Teach him life skills to include cooking, chores, how to handle stress, the arts, leadership skills, carpentry, caring for others, and much, much more. Yung TLE subjects po ng mga anak natin, the MAPE also. Okay, most of the lessons there are actually considered as life skills. So we better be careful as well in terms of curating the curriculum of our kids and review the textbooks that your kids are going through in school. Okay, do they actually help them teach skills, life skills? All right. If not, you supplement. You don't criticize the textbook. You can give feedback, yes, but you don't criticize. No, you supplement. Okay, you supplement. All right. And then last one, impact lives. Engage him to impact other people's lives for the better. Teach your learner to serve and lead. Okay, remember, the one who best serves is the one who best leads. Okay, one who serves best can lead best as well. All right. Okay, and do you know that serving others is therapeutic in itself? And by the way, if you lead other people, it is also leading is part of serving as well. Kaya nga yung mga government leaders natin, we call them public servants, right? Okay. So, make them serve. Make them serve. Kapag kumakain po ba, sino ang unang kumukuha? Pag dumampot ng kanin ng anak natin, would he serve others muna? Si tatay muna? Ganun, bago sarili niya. If he would pour water on the glass, okay, for the family at the dining table, would he do it for himself alone or would he do it first for others? Right? Okay. And then get intentional and make it real. Now, the intentionality should come from you as a parent and as an adult. And how do you do that? Okay. You can be intentional by modeling it. Modeling. Okay. If you're a dad, serve the mom. If you're the mom, serve the dad. Huh? And if your children would see that, okay, you model it, they will begin to serve one another. You just observe it, probably for a week or towards a month, right? If you serve one another, okay, serve one another, okay, and then let me know how does that impact your child. Okay. So, okay, so in any curriculum, your curriculum that you are adopting for the school year, make sure that it is learner-oriented. Whether you are homeschooling, home educating, or actually doing online distance learning, all right? Okay, you have to make sure that all the stuff are learner-oriented. It will actually meet the needs of your children right these days, okay? All right, and then it will help your child become the better version of himself. Okay, you are preparing him for the adult life, for the adult world. Okay. Now, according to C.S. Lewis, children are not a distraction from the more important work. They are the most important work. Okay. That's according to C.S. Lewis. So, children, we need to love our children. They are our own. Okay. We may not own them. Okay. But we are definitely stewards of our children. God has given them to us for us to take care of. Right. So let us not relegate our responsibility as parents. Let us not also delegate, but let us responsibly do it. Mind you, if your child goes to, if your child is actually not behind in terms of his academics, by the time that he is 24 or 25, he will start working. And when he starts working, he may be out of the house already. So you only have a quarter of a century, 25 years that you will spend with your child. Now that is so short if you're going to live for 70 years, right? That is so short. So you make the most of what you've got right now, right? Children should be trained. They should not be pampered. If you love them, you will discipline them, all right? But discipline does not involve spanking alone, all right? Okay, but discipline involves instructing them to what is right, what needs to be done, and how to do it right. And together with that instruction, there needs to be the consistency of application. And you have to ensure that they are applying the good stuff that they are learning. Parents, grab this opportunity. This is should I say, the year of jubilee for us parents, because we now have a better grasp of our children's lessons, and then we have a better control of what our children can actually learn because they are at home, they are within range, no? Okay, they will not leave our sight. Okay, they cannot go anywhere far, right? And this is a time wherein you can model and instruct the right things the right way. Okay, so grab this opportunity and make this opportunity count. Remember, if you teach your children how to count, that's good. But if you teach them what counts in life is best. Okay, so God bless you. I hope you learned something from me today. And I hope to have more time dealing with so many topics that we have discussed right now. Okay, I hope you got to learn something. But even if there is only one thing that you can apply from all these things that you have heard of, I would be delighted. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And thank you, Sir Great. Thank you, Sir Great, for sharing that. Ang dami kong naisulat eh. For sharing that kind of wisdom, and iba yung iba when we talk about our kids, it's really different eh. That's why thank you dun sa expertise na shinare mo, Sir Great. Especially I got caught with the
Welcome,
ano,
Louis.
no. I got caught dun sa sinabi mong impact lives, no. We've been teaching our kids, we've been promoting the servant leadership, we've been teaching servant leadership. And minsan nakakalimutan natin that the one of the students or one of the influence that we need to people that we need to influence to our kids eh, no? So tama 'yan, no? Even in small ways, no? Pansin ko yung daughter ko, no, parang ako pa talaga hindi, yun nga yung pagsandok ng kanin, no? Even in small ways, no? It shows how we can really be of service, no? And I think from those kind of small steps, yeah, would yield to bigger things like serving others, and then eventually, 'di ba? That's what lahat naman eh. That's what of even if our government would like to do that eh. Pero yun nga, iba talaga when we do it at home. Iba talaga when we do it as a start or as a foundation of our families. Thank you, Sir Great. Before we proceed dun sa ating
You're
Q&A,
welcome.
maraming mabilis na lang to. We just have few questions lang, Kuya. But sa kabilang host party siya eh. Oo nga no, I think let's do this next time so that we can really dissect on the other aspects, especially dun sa social development na dami kong dahil sa dami kong take na wala ako dun sa dun sa oras ko. Anyway, Sir Great, ito questions may first question is, hi sir, any additional tips on how do you lead your family using the concepts you've shared? Okay, Kuya. Experiential yata.
Sorry, Luis, I didn't get it. I
Okay,
didn't get it.
the
Can you
question
repeat it again?
is any additional tips on how you lead your family using the concepts you shared? Okay, additional
Yeah,
tips.
okay.
Meron pa ba?
You know, additional tips.
Hindi,
Ako,
meron
hirap
pa ba
naman yan.
from the concept? Actually, marami, no?
Okay.
I think,
Oo,
Kuya, yung
marami.
ano na
No?
lang.
Ito.
Sir Great, yung nagagamit mo ngayon, most of the time na nagagamit mo sa family.
Yes. Okay. Kasi when I developed this material actually resounds what we are going through as a family as well. So I really start off with their character development, with making sure that they are well in terms of character and the spiritual aspect. So how do I do that? Every night, we would gather together before bedtime, and I would tell them a story. Okay, especially when they were younger. Right now, they are the ones telling me the story. They are the ones that we take turns. We take turns now. Okay, so and then we get to reflect on what the story is about. What lesson can we derive from the story? And most of the lessons are values based. So and then we would be asking one another. So how can we apply that in our setting right now in real life? So doon pa lang po pumapasok na yung napaprocess na nila. Alam mo pa naman po ninyo mga tao lalo yung mga bata, pag binanggit na nila, ibig sabihin niya na-process na nila sa kaisipan nila. And normally, pag nabanggit, na-i-apply na rin nila. Yan na yung susunod. Okay? Yan na yung susunod. So, yung mga ganon, yung mga family time is an avenue for us to nurture the character development, the spiritual health as well. And it is also a time for us wherein we can do the socio-emotional thing. No? Lalo pag may naganap sa bahay during the day, we get to process during that family time before bedtime. So make use of that one. Don't, what do you call this? Invest time, really. Invest time. Mabilis lang po yan actually. Kami po, whenever we do our family time in the evening, it will just be 30 minutes to an hour. And what is 1 hour for the next 24 hours? No? That's just 1 over the 24th, not even half of their day. Okay, but it is all worth it. So that's just an added thing. Okay, physical development naman po, kasi something that is neglected these days dahil quarantine yung mga bata, no? I have to make sure that we have this daily. Actually, kami nakakalakad kami dito sa subdivision freely for exercise alone, for exercise. So what my kids would do, we would actually walk around for 3 rounds, mga ano na po yun, 1.5 kilometers. 1.5 kilometers every day in the morning. Right? Pero lately, medyo naging naghihigpit sila eh. So we do it only every other day, like that. So if you have the chance, actually, if you have the area wherein you can walk, walking alone is a good exercise already. Right? So the physical development as well. And making sure also that they eat the nutritious food prepared by their mom. That's in our case. My mom is a good cook. The mom of my kids is a good cook. So yeah, those are just some that I can add. Yeah.
Right. So thank you, Sir Great. Is there are there any yeah, minigit ko kasi you can catch us to the viewers. We will do another run. We'll try to think about it and discuss it properly because this is a good topic. It would benefit most of the families. That's why we will do this again. I just need to talk to Sir Great on how we do things. But to catch him, he has a Facebook. But for other inquiries, you can get in touch with us. Okay, for queries, for any concerns, you can get in touch with us. Vertical Parallel Asia. Sir Great is a good friend of ours. Actually, siya po isa sa mga mentor namin tinitingnan with regard to parenting. So, if you can only see the kids, nako, nakakatuwa po. So, Sir Great, as we go on to sa last question natin, mukhang maganda to. Sabi niya, my kid is already in teens. How do I incorporate the nurture the love for learning? Mostly, he is in social media lang. Okay. So,
Right. Okay. Even my kids, both of them are already teenagers these days. You know how I go about it? Me and my wife would actually challenge them. Okay, can you come up with your storyboard and then come up with a video of the story that you make? They love it so much. Tapos if they are going to come up with yung mga poetry and then yung mga blogs nila, always with the use of technology. It would interest them better, especially teenagers these days, if you are going to make use of the lessons, integrating technology in it. So if there is technology in it, patok sa teenagers.
all right. So, thank you, Sir Great. Yan, siya, technology. Minsan kasi naging parte na ng buhay ng mga anak natin technology. So, make use of it. By my experience, no, kahit pasulatin ko yung anak ko, minsan talaga pag sinabi ko, okay, shift to iPad, yan, mas nag-enjoy siya. But even so, we still make it a point na she learns even in writing. So syempre, of course, when we do that, when she does the iPad, so she learns also as well. So as we close, Sir Great, any final thoughts about how to really thrive in home-based learning, also in ODL or online distance learning?
Okay. Thriving in those platforms these days may be quite challenging, especially for parents who are working from home. But take it to heart, really. Anyway, sabi nga nila sabi ng isang parent, wag mo akong istorbohin anak, nagtatrabaho ako kahit nandito ako sa bahay kasi work from home ako. Pero di ho ba hanap buhay ang trabaho? Hanap buhay. So dapat po yung hanap buhay natin, ikinakabuhay ng ating buong pamilya. Kung ikamamatay naman ng puso, ng espiritu nila yung hanap buhay mo dahil dyan ka lang nakafocus, you're missing all the point. We are working actually for the welfare of our family. And when we say that, it's not just limited to the money that we bring in through our jobs, no? But it is something that what we invest to them or what we invest with them. Time spent with them is always well invested time and resource. Okay, so when you take charge of your child's education during this school year, you are investing something that is non-compared, an awesome sacrifice coming from the parent. Well, if you are working from home and still do home-based learning, even if you are not the one doing the lessons, support, no? Support. and get to talk with them. Grab this opportunity that you can bridge relationship, nurture relationship with your children while they are at home, while they are under your roof. Okay, they will not be with you forever. Okay, so grab this time. Okay, make it count. Make it count.
All right. So thank you, Sir Great, for sharing your time, sharing such
Thank you
wisdom
also.
and tips that we can really apply and use sa ating homeschool or yung paggamit po natin ng ODL or online distance learning, how to augment and be really involved with our kids. So, Sir Great, as I do the final announcements, I'll just put you in the waiting room. But thank you, Sir Great, for sharing
Thank
this.
you.
I'll just put you
Yeah.
in waiting room.
Okay.
Yan. All right, so everyone, it's really very informative topics that we've talked about how do we really thrive in this time and how we really get involved in the progress of our child. It's very an opportune time for us to make relationship counts more. Naalala ko nga yung sinabi ni Sir Great, no? It's not, you don't teach the kids. I don't know if I was able to quote it right from what he read, but yun nga, it's not how we teach them how to count, but we teach them what to count, what matters most. But more than that, I also learned yung sinabi nga ni Sir Great, yung children are not distraction from the more important work. They are the most important work. So as I end, allow me to just lang po share my last my last slides. Okay, join us this September 3, 2020 about Leadership Black and White with Dr. Anton Marilim. Also on September 22, Leadership Black and White with Mr. Paulo Tibig. Okay, the Productive Leadership, Upping Leadership Potential, September 18, 19, and 20. Okay, yeah, the Leadership Black and White is a new learning event naman po, a learning avenue of vertical parallel where we talk about the process on the transformation of a leadership affecting the culture of each organization. So it's a good learning avenue. We'll post them on our page. Please visit us, Vertical Parallel Asia. Please do like and also recommend us by doing a recommendation. Do a review, a recommendation for us because this encourages us to continue doing what we're doing. So again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Please, we're live in Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're also present in YouTube. Pakidagdagan naman po yung subscribers. So click like. Okay, so once again, join us this afternoon with Mr. Ruben Lanot as we talk about heroic leadership. This same page, Vertical Parallel Asia at 5 p.m. talking about heroic leadership. So once again, as I close, gusto ko lang i-quote yung sinabi ni C.S. Lewis, no? Children are not a distraction from the more important work. They are the most important work. So I hope you enjoy your lunch this afternoon. Take time to know your kids and an opportune time to know our purpose where God called us to be. So as I close, allow me to just close us in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this afternoon. You've allowed us to learn more about how do we thrive, oh God, Lord, in this season, and how do we really get involved with our kids as they learn, as they develop, as they progress. We thank you for this time that you've allowed us to be entrusted with the kids. They are yours, and we wanted to be good stewards of this. We thank you for the influence you've given us. We owe it all to you, Lord, and we're grateful for this privilege of being a parent to our children. We love you, Father, in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So everyone, thank you for joining us this afternoon, this morning, and I hope to see you later at 5 p.m. All right. So what do I say? Good afternoon. Enjoy your lunch. God bless. Goodbye.